Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Cole Crawford.
Thanks, guys. Again, I can't thank this community enough. You guys have been very welcoming. It's been just a fantastic couple of days for me. I know the team is really excited to have been able to come join everybody here in Paris. I'm lucky enough to stay through the weekend, so I'll get to escape Vélizy and Saclay, go down to the main city. But I spent a little time earlier today just wandering the expo hall, meeting with some of the sponsors, meeting with some of the attendees, and the feedback that I've received has been just overwhelmingly positive. So thank you for having a good experience with us. That's been absolutely fantastic. While a lot of folks here were listening to how corporations and companies are transforming the industry and offering new solutions based on open compute, the magic, or another part of the magic, is happening in these breakout rooms. In these breakout rooms, there's very smart engineers working on very technical things. And I'd like to invite these engineers out today so you can see the faces that help drive this community forward. So please help me welcome the OCP Project Leads and give them a round of applause. Man, this is inspiring music. Thank you, guys. You know, I know how hard it is, and for the audience, you know, everybody here has a full-time job that they do outside of open compute. So they spend a lot of time working on open compute technologies for their corporations, but they work a lot for open compute. I get emails from all of these guys at 11 p.m. sometimes on a Tuesday. So thank you guys very much for leading these rooms. I just wanted to let each one of you guys spend a couple of seconds, a minute or so, talking about, you know, what this community means to your specific project, how you're interacting with this, and yeah, just let you guys sort of update the community here. Mark, we'll start with Mark Shaw.
Hi, I'm Mark Shaw. I'm the co-chair of the server committee. My co-chair wasn't able to be here today. This was a great opportunity to bring OCP servers to Europe. So, you know, I believe that a lot of people haven't had an opportunity to make it to the States. So, so in the server committee, we have both represented. You know, we did a deep dive into the Open Cloud Server v2 that was just accepted into OCP this past week, and we also talked about the new OpenRack v3 servers, the networking mezzanines, and some of the cards that go with that. So it was pretty good. We had a lot of good interaction, a lot of questions, people just understanding, you know, all the way from just understanding what are the servers, what are the differences, to all the details beneath it.
Badruddin Kasib, the co-chair of the server manageability. Rajiv here is the other co-chair. Glad to be here. Happy to see lots of OCP fellows here. We had all the sessions packed, essentially. We discussed the OCS v2 submittal in terms of manageability. We also discussed in the joint session with the hardware committee the multi-node management, essentially brainstorming and some kind of early proposals, which we need to move forward. Today we discussed Redfish, which is a very hot topic in the management community, and we hope, we talked about the relationship of the MTF with OCP, how we can make the OCP members' voice heard. And then the last session we discussed manageability, firmware update management, essentially. So I think it's a fruitful session, and I think there is a lot of more discussion to be had and to be done, and hopefully during our regular meetings, management meetings, we will move these projects forward.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us. My name is Oscar Riahi. I'm chair of the storage committee. The last few months was very active activities within the storage committee. We have approved 4 projects so far, 2 more under review. The only thing I would like to ask you guys to do is join our monthly calls every second Thursday of the month, and we have made it so that every other month we have, the way to remember it maybe is the best odd months, our calls is at 9 a.m. California time, which is, I believe, suitable for here in Europe, and as well as on even days, it's at 4 p.m., which is for Asia and Pacific. Thanks a lot.
Hi everyone, my name is Rajiv Agrawal and I co-chair hardware management track with Badruddin. He already talked about the projects that we did here. The only thing I would say is that Cole mentioned that he gets email from us at 11 p.m. And I can say the same thing about you, the members of the hardware management. And we get emails all the time from you, and the track would not be anything without your participation. We can definitely use more participation. The results we can only see if we have a lot of participation in the track. Thank you.
Thanks. So I would also echo that participation is key, and to be quite honest, I wasn't really sure what to expect coming into Europe for the first time, especially with the data center group, but I was pleased to see a very well-attended workshop, and we got a good bit done. And I would implore you you said Tuesday, second Thursday, right? Okay, ours is the 3rd Thursday, so I know that you're not booked then, so please join the data center group and the mailing list. For this event, at these workshops, we covered specifically the DC power submission specification. So in the initial data center specification, it called for 48 volts at the rack, but didn't really outline how to achieve that. And we were fortunate enough to fairly recently to have a submission from Edison DC Systems. We weren't able to be here, unfortunately, but that did not prevent us from making some good progress on that. We not only reviewed it, we finished, at least in my mind, the community review. We'll have to take the comments back, make the revisions, and it should be ready for the IC coming up. Another positive thing, at least for our group, I don't know about the rest of the groups, but probably, is the fact that we had a lot of new people, and that's very encouraging. It required a little bit of review, but ultimately that will lead to increased participation and progress in the future. Thanks.
Howdy, my name is Carlos Cardenas. I'm the co-chair for the networking group with Omar Baladondo, who's not here. So in the networking session this week, we spent a lot of time reviewing what the networking group has done, what we're currently working on, the active projects, and where we're going with it next. So with that, we had a review of ONI for a lot of our newcomers that never heard of ONI, or in the bare metal movement that's actually kind of taken over our space. Next, we kind of segued into the switch abstraction interface, which is going to allow us to be able to deploy an operating system on in variety of switches, regardless of the ASICs underneath it. Very similar to how servers are done today. Along with the many other projects that we have in the wings, whether it's testing and certification for optics, all the way up to hardware performance testing. So it was very nice to meet new faces, grow the networking community even further, and potentially rinse and repeat, and we'll be here next year. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Devashish Paul. Our group is the High Performance Computing Group that's just getting off the ground, starting back at the University of New Hampshire. Slightly different. What we're focusing on is creating solutions right from the semiconductor level up to the system level for the high performance computing market, but not necessarily just limited to that, because we see a lot of the low latency, high performance, scalable computing growing from where it is in a corner of the industry at HPC to all over the industry. And many minds, all of your minds, are more powerful than a few minds in terms of what happens inside closed doors behind certain vendors' walls. And what we're trying to do is become a central node for high performance computing, collect your thoughts and your initiatives and your innovation and pull it all together to create the best that we can from the industry. So in that vein, we had presentations packed in all our sessions this week, building on the draft charter that we formulated over the last couple of months. And a lot of the vendors were there in terms of what they're bringing to the table for high-performance computing, as well as end users asking us what they need in their systems in the next 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. So on that note, I'll pass it to my co-chair, Thomas, who'll tell you a bit more about what's coming.
Yeah, I'm Thomas Summers, co-chair with Dev, and one of the really interesting things about our group and being here this 2 days is we had a lot of participation from vendors, end users, everything from silicon designers to building putting the systems in the racks. And so one of the unique things that our group is doing compared to the other OCP groups is we're going all the way down to the silicon. And so some of our first contributions that we're planning once our charter is approved is going forward and having actual open processors. And so everything from instruction set to the RTL for the different cores and other parts of the chip, and hopefully that grows in the future.
So this isn't all of our project leads. We're missing 3. We have Steve Mills and Brian Obernesser, who do our Open Rack team. I don't think they're either one here. And we have YF Juan, who is the certification project lead. So we have 6 of our 8 projects represented up here. The project that I want to talk to you about is one that we kicked off this week, and it's the telco group. And it's a working group. It's not one of the top level projects, but we are standing it up. So if you're interested in getting involved in that group, what we discussed over the last 2 days were issues facing telcos, issues facing bringing those together and figuring out what needed to be the commonalities and what needed to be the differentiators across that space. One of the key things that was talked about was in the networking space. Now, there's a lot of other issues that go about, but that seems like the first issue that's going to be tackled in that group. So if you're a telco and you're interested in solving some of those problems on OCP gear, maybe on OpenStack, maybe on other things, that you need to let me know, shoot me an email, and you'll see a mailing list go public next week. So you can join that mailing list and become part of that comms group. So I want to tell you a little bit about that, and I want to tell you also how much I appreciate each and every one of our project leads and our IC, our incubation committee members, because they're all elected by you, the community. So if you think that you want to get involved and you want to stand up here and you want to review the state of a project someday, you need to talk to one of these folks and get involved in their projects. I can't empower you without their help. So this is my empowerment team to empower you. So if you're part of the OCP Europe community and the work that Jean-Marie is doing is absolutely wonderful, pick a lane and get involved in one of these projects as well. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Please, round of applause for all of these guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So you guys probably remember Jean-Marie had a slide up here that said building from the bottom up, and Open Compute believes wholeheartedly in this philosophy. Open Compute wouldn't be where it was without the community saying, this is what we need. Again, I was speaking to the chairman, Frank, a couple of days ago, and he said, be sure you remind this community that this is a choose-your-own-adventure story. There is a way for you to if you have a headache, there's a way for you to manufacture your own aspirin. And I don't know if aspirin is what you call it here, but you can manufacture your own medicine, and that's really the power that you have. Really quickly, I just wanted to say thanks again to our platinum sponsors, Microsoft and Intel. I want to say thanks to the rest of our sponsors, HP, Western Digital, our solution providers, Stack Velocity, Hive, WeWin, and Schneider Electric, and especially to the local event sponsors. We have Enria and Paris-Saclay. We couldn't do this without you. You guys have heard some really amazing things today, and I don't know if you've been following the Open Compute website, but we blogged about the relationship that Canonical and ONI are bringing into the open compute environment. We've had amazing speakers, Philip DeVost, Mark Shuttleworth, Kushagra Vaid from Microsoft, Billy Cox, others, all telling you how their corporations and their philosophies are driving this innovation forward in an open way. And it's really awesome to see this community taking hold. I'm not going to say what other project, and I'm not going to say who told me, but somebody came up to me and said, you guys are catching on here faster than we've seen other open ecosystems and open source projects come into Europe. So it's impressive, and it makes me feel very honored to be part of a transformative industry. So thank you for that. I would now like to invite up Ross Stubbs. Ross is from Goldman, and as you know, we promised you guys a hackathon. We had a couple of teams here. Thank you, Ross. We had a couple teams day one, and we ended up with a winner, and I would like to invite that team up, the Thales SDS team. I don't know if you guys are in the audience, the hackathon winners, and if the camera could just kind of show them, I want you guys to just first talk a little bit about what this hack does, and then show us maybe what it does.
Hello everybody, my name is Thibaut École. I am a PhD student, and with my team, this morning we have developed a card with remote management.
Hello everybody. Here we have a card, electronic card. We want to control 2 fans. So here we have two fans here. Yeah. So we have relays, and each relay is controlled by the Arduinos. And the Arduinos uses 2 pins, GPIO pins, so we can get the status of the fans. Can you show us? Yeah? Thank you. Peut-être l'écran, non? Yeah. Can you, on peut montrer l'écran, peut-être? Yeah?
So typically we have 2 fans, and we can turn off and turn on the different fans. So I try.
So what you guys are seeing here is they've used a microcontroller through the I2C interface, which is a standard interface for open compute. And through that standard interface, they can take, they can find out the temperature, and through that Atmel chip, which by the way is a very low-cost chip, you can buy this chip for as little as 20 cents a chip. And through the I2C interface of the open compute framework, you can do this heat sensor technology and be able to control those fans. So you've got some power over your efficiency. So this is a remote management hack. And I remember where Facebook was, where open compute was born at Facebook. There's walls and walls of cool sort of signs that are just there to encourage you to keep hacking and keep designing, and they say done is better than perfect. I mean, there's multiple signs that says done is better than perfect. And it's really cool to see that software is written, and hardware was designed, and a functional prototype was built to be able to take an Arduino board, which is just a microcontroller, interface that with an I2C interface on the hardware itself to be able to remote monitor and remote control your fan speed and the amount of cooling that you're providing to a server so you can be more efficient. So that's a fantastic hack, guys. Thank you very much. And then as Goldman is our sponsor, they have won a $5,000 US check. So thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ross. And with that, guys, thank you very much for coming to this event. This has been just absolutely fantastic for us. I again cannot say enough about how honored we are to be here. The key tenets, the things we want you to take away are these, right? Collaborate with each other, talk to each other, tell each other stories about the problems you're having and the problems you want to solve. Contribute those things back to us, and we'll make sure that other people that have those same problems are able to help manufacture their own medicine and solve their own problems. And then consume this stuff. I mean, you can design the best widget in the world, but if that widget isn't available to people, it's never going to be used. So collaborate, contribute, and consume. These are the messages we want to convey to you as what you take with you when you leave. And finally, please join us in California next March. It's the 10th and 11th of 2015. It's a very easy flight. You fly directly into San Jose. The hotels and the conference room are about 5 minutes away. It's quite an experience to see this community grow. I personally love to see this stage of community growth. When you come out to California, it's a different stage of community growth, but equally impressive and equally innovative. With that, guys, thank you so much for coming.